They see your beauty, so frail and fine. They see your peace, woven of faith and toil. They forget your heart, bound in slumber and servitude. When you wake, they shall see your truth, a beast's nature, bare to all. From Farloom's Folly, by the conductor Romino. Welcome to the Super NPC Radio Silksong Games Club. I'm one of the hosts of this dang series, Connor McCabe, here to bring you the frickin' Games Club, covering the sequel to Hollow Knight. I am really excited to be jumping into not just one about this game, but a new series in general. It feels like the first day of school, guys, every time we get together and we're going to talk about a new game. If you're listening to this podcast, you may not know this, but there's a few different ways you could be doing that. You could be supporting us on patreon.com/supernpcradio, where this series is the big ticket item for our patrons at the $5 DJ Toad tier. But you can also be listening to this in the future, about a year, maybe 14 months later, on a free feed at the Super NPC Games Club free feed. And if you're listening there too, thank you as well. If you want to see whatever we have going on currently on our Patreon and what series we're covering live, we're doing it live, check us out on our Patreon. There's a link in the show notes, or share this feed with a friend. So if you're like, oh, I love these people, I love what they have to say about games, I love the banter, I love when Connor, gets interrupted 5 times in a row and is just seething and steam comes out of his ears, share the podcast with a friend. You can find us all over social media as well. I want to introduce our panel for this series. We got some returning champs who've been on the last few Games Clubs. I'm Connor McCabe, as I already told you. I'm here. I'm also joined by Mr. Jeremy Schmidt.
What? Hello?
July Diaz is also here.
Hey, I'm happy to talk about Mrs. Hollow Knight today.
Very good. And Charlie Mihelich, I believe you're here as well.
Well, hello?
We also have 2 more people to introduce. We got a little welcome back coming with someone who was missing from our previous Games Club, but is back in action. It's none other than the artist of all of these Games Club cover arts, Mikey McCollor.
Hey, bonjour.
Very good.
Does this game feel French to anybody?
Well, I feel like you're stepping in like Jacques' lane a little bit. Not to step on the introduction, but also first timer, the rookie Jacques Mouledoux is here.
Hello, it's good to see you guys.
Whoa.
Does anyone else feel like this game has a Scottish feeling to it?
Not once, but now I'm thinking about it.
God, if Nick were here, he would totally say it's Italian.
R.I.P.
Because of all the jumping.
R.I.P.
Yeah, because of all the jumping.
No Nick on this game.
I know, no.
Wow.
Too hard.
Nick, we've got we're running with the smaller crew these days, a 6 or less, but that allows us to have some new fun people on the pod. Jacques, this is your first time on the Games Club series, but some have said a bit of a fan favorite on Video Games a Comedy Show and Call Me by Your Game. Buddy, as we introduce you and bring you on the pod here, what the heck do you have to say for yourself? Who are you? What do you want people to know?
I am in awe of the people I'm here with. I am honored. This is so exciting. I'm excited to be here. I love this game, and I can't wait to talk about it. Thank you so much, Connor. Thank you so much, Jeremy, Charlie, July, Michael. An honor. What if I'm sincere the whole time?
At first, I thought you said Connor's name again at the end, but you said an honor.
I would have appreciated that.
It's a Connor to be here, yeah.
Yeah, it's a real Connor to be here. Yes, you're Connor.
Yes, you're Connor. Please do that in court. Well, great. We've got a wonderful crew here. As is tradition on these Games Club series. It's probably not going to be the 6 of us for every single episode. Some people,
Artist.
Connor artist?
Yeah, you're a Connor artist.
Okay, pretty good.
Oh, interesting.
Pretty good.
Oh, interesting.
That's
going the other direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm being sincere too.
Connor artist, was that the disk drive follow up to Connor Paint for the Nintendo 64?
Yeah, the Connor Drive 64.
Yeah, is that worth going down this bit trail?
Oh, the Commodore. The Commodore.
The Commodore 64.
The Commodore. I've been to Connor's door.
This is great. They can the people watching on this first episode can already see the steam just rising out of my ears. It's
we're
so
seeing
great.
extreme drop off of the numbers. They're just plummeting right now.
No,
Make
we've
fun
gone
of my
from,
fucking name.
oh, we had 12 viewers. Now we're down to 9. No. Well, I'm really excited. It's gonna be fun. I know I'm gonna at least miss I think episode 4 I will be out of town for, so I know we'll be doing that, but it should be fun. We don't know. We're kind of programming this as Jeremy is assisting us as we go, kind of like the Death Stranding.
Sarah Honors.
Well, that's just her name. Sarah Connor is like in her name already.
But he changed it to
but
honor.
I changed it to
Oh, you
honor.
did?
I did.
Oh,
Yes.
very good.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank
July,
you.
that's a great subverting the joke there.
Thank you.
And you're
And I
supposed to wait a little while and then bring it back so it
Yeah.
hits harder, and he did that too. So that
Yeah.
was great.
It's
have a
funny
question.
because I actually was going to bring up
Textbook.
Terminator later in the podcast, and that
Oh,
would have been
good.
you would have been able to slip
Oh,
right in
shit,
there.
wow.
And, yeah,
delete this.
Wait, I have a question for Jeremy. When you said you're Connor earlier, were you referencing the Bryan Cranston show?
I guess I
love that
was.
show.
But the thing is I'm so brilliant. I didn't
Yes.
even. My mind is going faster than my brain. You know.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dang, you're outpacing even yourself.
I'm outpacing.
Yeah, we don't know how long this Games Club's going to be. It could be 10 episodes. We'll see. We'll be updating you as we go along. So if you're, actively listening as this airs on Patreon, check the Discord, check the Patreon for updates as well. But if you're listening in the future, don't even worry about it because these episodes are just going to keep falling into your feed gorgeously. For today's episode, we're going to be, going through the introduction of the game, doing a little table setting for Hollow Knight, but also this game, Silksong, getting into Act 1 and through the boss Bell Beast. So that's what we're going to be covering today. As we get into and sort of set up the pod doing this table setting, I would love to, for the 4 of us at least who were on the beginning of the original Hollow Knight Games Club, because we did cover the original game, I think 5 games clubs ago or so. So this is a Q4 for 2025. We did this in Q3 2024. McCollor, July, Jeremy, and I were all on the beginning of that series. We got to talk about our history with it. I do want to sort of turn to...
How's that?
That was me. Sorry.
What was that?
I thought that was like a soundbite.
It was my sound. It was my recorder.
Oh,
did something
well.
crazy
Jeremy
for a
turned the
second.
volume all the way up to sniff once.
Yes.
Turn it right back down.
I'd
Sorry.
like to hear from July. Oh, sorry, not July. I don't want to hear from July at all. I want to
Okay,
hear from
good.
Charlie and Jacques about your history with Hollow Knight, and then no matter how deep or shallow, and then we'll do a little talking about what our experience with that, and kind of leaving that game coming to this one. Charlie, I'll turn to you first, buddy. Is it safe to say that you're scared of Hollow Knight?
Yeah, terrified. Yeah, I'm more of a Medal of Connor type gamer. But no, I played Hollow Knight 1, did not beat it. I am someone who is, and Jeremy knows this. I have a real challenge with the Souls-like intense difficulty type games. In the sense that I'll play them for a really long time, and I will get to a certain point, but then once I get to the point that I am just feeling like I am dying and resetting, and no matter what, I cannot seem to get past the hump to make some forward progress, I tend to kind of fall off. Also, I have, when life gets busy, I kind of fall off games for a little bit, and returning to a game like this with, no real predetermined way you have to go, and the ability to get lost pretty easily was not something that I could continue. So I'm excited to do this games club because this will force me to do both of those things and stick with it and play through it, and also really try to grow to appreciate it, because as much as I thought that the art style, the music, and the sound and atmosphere and all that stuff was really great, to me it does not feel like the masterpiece that everyone else thinks it is, and that's I know that's based on personal preference, personal
Guys,
play
did he
styles.
just say that?
Like I prefer in a Metroidvania style, like I prefer like an Ori to a Hollow Knight.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, so I'm really looking forward to it because I do enjoy it, and it did feel really good to pick it up. Like the controls are, even though she's a little floatier, then I picked it up quite naturally. Enjoyed the 45 minutes or so it took me to get through what was today's playthrough. So I'm really looking forward to being won over by Silksong to join the rest of you on the side of these are two of the most important games of all time.
I love it. Great. It's great also to have an early nominee for someone to possibly drop off the games club. Last time,
Yeah.
last time
My
we
eyes were
had,
on McCollor at first, but I'm like,
yeah.
maybe
Well,
Charlie
McCollor is definitely a nominee.
Yeah.
We had
He's-
last year when we did the Hollow Knight Games Club, Nick eventually dropped off kind of near the end. Although he's on the last episode, he showed up as what's that character in the original Hollow Knight who like thinks he's the hero, but he's
yes.
not. He's kind of like
Yeah.
and Nick showed up and kind of did an impression of that guy, which is great. But
He didn't
Anyway.
know he was doing an impression. He very much saw himself as the hero.
yes,
I ain't
that's-
leaving.
he's staying. Very, very DiCaprio of you on this DiCaprio of weekends, Charlie. Well, glad to have you here, buddy. Jacques Mouledoux. There's a big reason we asked you on this series, and that's because we know you like the original
Right.
Hollow Knight very much. Tell us about your history. What are you coming into this games club with emotionally? Like, what baggage are you carrying?
The first one is one of my favorite games of all time. I feel like it's just this game is extremely my shit. I love 2D games. I love platforming. I love hard combat. It's kind of everything. Both of these games, truly. The first Hollow Knight I played twice all the way through. I think before Silksong, I would have said it had the best design of enemies in any game ever made. And now I would say Silksong has the best enemy design and boss design in any game. Better than Dark Souls, better than any of those games. I think it's like these games are such a triumph and they're so fun. I
Better
love
than
them.
Leisure Suit Larry?
Yeah. Even better than Leisure Suit Larry.
Even
The
What's the
girls
boss
in
in
that?
that game? Like your zipper?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
A woman
I like
with
that one,
standards.
Connor.
Your own sense of dignity.
So I loved it. I played it 2020, I want to say. So I was a little late, but I don't know. I loved it so much. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to kind of like gush and then because I feel obligated, throw in some criticisms as we go to.
Cool. I love it. Got to throw out the obligatory critiques, you know? It's just necessary. Well, awesome. As we sort of, I guess I'll kind of open this up a little bit. If like, you know, the four of us who were previously on want to give like a quick summary. I played this game, as you'll hear on the original Games Club, for the first time last year. It's the only time the original Hollow Knight I played last year for the first time. Absolutely loved it. And just if you want to hear my detailed thoughts, go listen to that like 12-part series or whatever it was. July, do you want to give a little summary of your experience with the first game?
Yeah. When I played Mr. Hollow Knight, I also was not a sort of a big fan of the Dead Souls type of game where it's like
Ooh,
you
Dead
have
Souls.
to learn the mechanics of a particular fight to find the patterns to like get through a boss battle or section of the game. But as I played through it, I like grown to love it, and seeing that back here with Mrs. Hollow Knight it's just it's like riding a bike. It's like getting back on the old two-wheeled vehicle, and it feels like a warm blanket or a
I'm sorry,
warm cloak.
Is it a warm cloak or is it like a bike? July. Which one is it?
It's sort of like putting on 2 oven mitts
Okay, yeah.
To ride a bike.
to ride the
than-
bike.
Different than the first two of those examples. Mr. Jeremy Schmidt, how about yourself, buddy?
Well, I feel like I'm with Jacques. I mean, that's basically it. That's I think he summed it up nicely. It's like I think the first game is a masterpiece. You heard everything I said on the last Games Club, and I think this game's better.
All right. Ooh. And
Although
Michael
I have some
McCollor.
critiques.
Oh, good.
Good. Oh, I was hoping.
McCollor, as we hear from you
All right,
two,
well, I do.
No, I do
want
too,
to
of
say,
course.
I went back and listened to the first episode of the Hollow Knight Games Club, and
Uh-huh.
I had completely forgotten how much you loved the first game.
Yeah.
Because you ended up also, and I'm not bringing this up, to throw shade, but you also didn't finish that journey with us. But
That's not
and
true,
so
is it?
what'd you say?
I think I finished it.
No,
I thought I did.
McCollor, you never.
I dropped Death Stranding,
Maybe I'm thinking of Death Stranding.
and I'll drop
but
Death Stranding every time.
I had misconstrued your experience with those two games, and I was like, "Oh, I don't think McCollor likes this." So, but I knew you love Metroidvania, so
Yeah.
when we asked you to come back and you were very enthusiastic, and then I listened to the first episode, I was like, "Oh my god, he loves this crap." So, give us a little brief synopsis.
Yeah, real quick. Just in my head, Hollow Knight is like a Switch 1 launch title. I don't know if that's actually when it came out, but I played it very early in the Switch days. One of my favorite games, and I think even though Resident Evil is my favorite game of all time, I think Metroidvanias are my favorite genre.
Ooh,
I don't think there's a single Metroidvania that I actively dislike.
ooh, and including you love Metal Gear Solid, the famous Metroidvania.
Metal Gear Solid, Tetris
Mario
Effect,
64.
all my favorite Metroidvanias.
Awesome.
Because if you think
dude.
about it, Mario 64 is a Metroidvania.
Dude, when
Because
think
you
about it.
can't access stuff until you get those hats.
That's true.
Dude, the hats are like
The
your
metal
missiles.
cap walls off that
Yep.
1 star underneath the ship
Yep. Yes.
because it's in the jet stream.
Speaking of
Yeah,
our very
God
first
of War 2018 is
Of
kind of a
course.
Metroidvania.
It's very much
Tetris.
Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, because until you get the long
get
block,
Yeah, I guess
Yes.
Leisure Suit Larry. You gotta
Perhaps.
fight
You're-
the zipper.
yeah, your
Yeah, you
zipper.
gotta
Do you like
get
sequence
horny
breaking
first.
Pick up
Tetris,
artist
yeah. If you're
lessons.
not-
You can't progress in that
Yeah.
game.
Have you guys ever sequence broke Tetris?
No.
Where you make it work with not the long one?
Interesting. No.
Anyway,
Not
Super
That's
Mario
my
Mario
one.
whole life is making it work with not the long one.
Oh, Charlie, dude,
Charlie.
my man.
Charlie.
Oh,
get out of
yeah,
here.
we're here
Thanks
for
for
you,
bringing it
man.
up. Thanks
Charlie,
for bringing it.
it's
I told
long,
you I was
Charlie.
having a rough week.
Yes.
Is
Super
that
Mario
the first
64.
virtual dap up?
First virtual dap up? Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Anyway, I'm excited to get into this, fellas. This is also, we're sort of in unprecedented territory on this Games Club where I'm immediately going to be a tattletale right now and say that we have two absolute little stinkers who have finished this game. Raise your hands so the video viewers can see you.
It's misleading to say that we finished the game though.
You
Oh.
rolled credits.
We rolled a credit.
Yes.
But like for me, and I can't speak for everybody, but for me,
You can
I've
speak
even
for me.
I've even programmed on our podcast past where I've
Yes.
finished.
Oh.
So there is an entire new act
Oh.
to find and explore. I'll be honest, and I'm interested to hear the other person on this show's thoughts on this. I'm a little nervous about including it in our games club just because of challenge reasons. But I'll leave the floor open to the other person.
I'll speak as the other person. Jeremy, I'm excited to do those episodes. You and I alone.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be fun.
So once you finish the roll credits, you still have the shawarma scene.
Yes, there's the famous
okay.
shawarma scene, which
Which might take up 2 episodes to
which
discuss.
is when you look at the list of things to get to the shawarma scene, you're a little like, oh no, your breath kind of leaves your body for a second, and then there's game after that, So it's something to be aware of. I'm also kind of debating, and Jacques, tell me if you think this is smart or stupid, but I'm thinking about maybe even trying to program throughout. Hey, you might want to take care of this little quest here because then you're gathering them along the way instead of hitting a wall where you have to do like 7 quests.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I also think there's I didn't get one of the abilities until much later than you should have because I didn't go to an area. And I wonder if for our friends who are so inclined, it might be helpful to program
Yeah.
such things like that in.
Yeah.
Can I just say something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Jacques' tones are so dulcet.
Yeah.
God, what a
You do have the
voice.
warmest sound on the
Yeah,
pod.
but it is so pleasing.
In the
It is like-
history of
yeah.
the pod.
It's the
Yeah.
Hitachi
Yeah,
mic.
everyone is just harsh and
Yeah, we're all
live,
crackly.
and, yeah, and it's just
vocal
like,
fry.
Some of us are sniffing into the mic.
Yeah, some of us crank our audio to sniff.
Charlie's saying that to be nice because I snapped at him earlier when he said my microphone was a vibrator.
No,
And I said it's a music microphone.
yeah, it's not a vibrator, idiot.
Yeah. Exactly.
But they should
But
make
no,
a
it
dual
does
purpose.
sound really good. Yeah,
Thank you.
why
Thank
not?
you.
Why not? More things should be vibrators.
As we continue to set the table, continue to tease our discussion about this game, I figured it would be worth just doing a little discussion too about, the lead up in anticipation of this game. Silksong has been something that I don't remember exactly when it was announced, but it was playable as early as E3 2019. Friends of the show, Patrick Ellers, former Games Club participant, and Mark Mitchell played this game on the E3 show floor in 2019. And since that time, after Hollow Knight, the original game made its absolute seismic impact on the gaming community, this has been a title for 8 years now that people have been wondering where it is, when is it going to come out. It's kind of been like a meme almost at every McCollor, you're a Direct watcher. You've probably seen those chats. Every Nintendo Direct, every PlayStation Showcase, every Xbox thing, game awards. It's all people spam the chat with Silksong.
Well,
It
and
feels
that
like
we
you
got
could've-
this before Silksong, just like the GTA 6. We got,
And you could always find a reason why this was the time, right? It was always like, well, we heard the Korean rating board was finally getting around to rating Silksong. We finally saw more activity from their Twitter. There was always evidence, and it just would come and go.
Yes.
And we always felt like fools.
Yeah.
I also feel like we were entitled to this game, and every time they didn't give it to us, it was an injustice, and King Cherry should feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I also think, though, I do have to give them a lot of credit because when they were finally ready, they're like, it comes out in 4 days.
That was cool.
That was that's the best possible way to, rather than being Christmas 2026, it's going to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw something out here too. And I think this might be a me specific thing, but I did not need this game a second before I got it. I did not need it at all. And arguably, now that it's here, I'm overwhelmed that it's here because there's so much other stuff to play, and there's so much competing games, and it's it's a real conundrum when Hades 2 and Hollow Knight Silksong release in the same month. I mean, I do think that is kind of not a cloud, but an interesting facet of this is two of the greatest games of all time just have sequels out in the same month.
Yeah. When they delayed Slay the Spire 2's early access, I said, thank God.
Yeah, exactly.
I was truly oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And 20 bones.
Oh,
Yeah, this game is only
Yeah.
$20.
this game is the same amount as Emerald Isle DK.
the Donkey
Yeah.
Kong Bonanza
Yeah.
DLC.
Yeah.
But
I also
in this game, you can only smash some walls, and it's when it leads to a backtracking, make it easier to get back from where you died. In Donkey Kong, you can smash every wall. So value per smash, I'll still give it to Donkey Kong.
it's
Value for Smash.
Ooh.
Value
I
per
also think
smash.
it's worth mentioning the interview with Team Cherry when
Yes.
Jason Schreier was like, so what was the cause of the delay? Were there creative difficulties and challenges and hinting at infighting? And they were like, no, we were having so much fun. We just kept adding stuff. It was the best. And you were just like,
Also-
awesome.
This game, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's all hand drawn, right?
Yeah, I think so. with
It's all
computers,
AI,
yes.
I think.
It might be AI. It's either hand drawn or AI.
One of the two.
Just-
There's no 3D models in it, if that's what you're asking.
I-
Although
I-
there is a part where a background falls, and I'm interested to know if there are actually 3D assets in it because there's a scene where a big chandelier falls, and I'm it looked so three-dimensional, but it might just be the exquisite nature of like the hand-drawn art.
You're talking about the Phantom of the Opera sequence.
Yeah,
where the
right.
chandelier comes
Yes.
down. Yeah.
Masquerade, paper faces on
Phantom of the Opera a
parade.
ghost, or is he just a guy up there?
He's
just
just
not a ghost.
He's just a
guy.
yeah. He's
Human
just a
man.
Ooh, maybe
play the
we could
piano.
cover Phantom of the Opera for the next Games Club.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a SNES
Interlude-
game.
Interlude.
All that is to say, I just as I play this game, I'm like, oh yeah, I see what they're doing. Like if you've got a tablet in Photoshop, you could make a Hollow Knight. But the one Hollow Knight illustration, even like for the last Games Club, I did a close up of the knight's face, so it was a lot of like painting light on a single skull. For this illustration I did for our Games Club, it took me 1,000 hours because I had to draw all these spikes. I was just like, this game takes 8 years to draw, let
It's
alone
one artist.
make it
It's
to a
one-
game.
It's one artist too. It's the
Just a
craziest
guy.
thing in the world. Like, that's so much work. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the composer. I mean, like the music in
Incredible.
this is
Sound design.
just
Also,
unreal.
the sound effects. Every
Yeah.
sound effect is so pleasing. Every
Crunchy.
voice, every it's crunchy. It's like,
Yeah.
there is something very like there is a lot that I admire about the playing these games. Like it's very visceral. Every hit feels impactful. I love like getting in an extra quick shot at the bell boss as he's either gonna jump over me or make the stuff fall or jump on me, and there's something that like you do start to feel like, oh, I'm beating this because I'm getting good at it. And I do think that is rewarding. My problem is always that there is a wall where I'm like, I am not good enough to do this, and I don't know if I'll get there.
Dude, and that's why we had Donkey Kong Bonanza for you. You know what I mean? Just play Donkey
Yeah.
Kong Bonanza. No, I'm just
Dude,
kidding.
right now,
pretty
you
hard,
guys,
too.
I have I think I have 32 hours of Deep Rock Galactic Survival of just me sitting and playing this auto battler with mining. That's like Vampire Survivors with mining. And there are so many, because they released like the 1.0 release, and there is so much to do that I just like sit down and pick it up on my ROG Ally, and it's like 2 hours go by, and I'm like, I should be doing Silksong.
Do you guys think Charlie's trying to take up the Nick mantle of talking about Marvel Rivals, but he's going to talk about
This
Deep
is
Rock
Marvel.
Galactic every
And that's
episode?
and I think kind of just like culturally, they've made the same impact.
Do we?
They're both Gooner games.
They're Gooner games, yeah.
Yeah.
That's mostly what's going on. I'm gooning.
I was curious if
Hours.
to Charlie's point, now would be a good time, or if we do want to set aside a little bit of time to just talk about like difficulty in games and like authorship and stuff, like the idea that like this game is like had like a non-zero amount of controversy just about the difficulty, and
I would love to discuss that. I mean, there's so... Yeah, please, Jeremy.
yeah, I mean, I just think this is an interesting thing that comes up anytime a new like FromSoft game hits the shelves, or this where it's like
This is interesting. Can we talk about this?
it's like there's something about there's some conversation here, I think, about authorship and about like what you kind of want in games, and like why do so many people kind of prefer it this way, and like would an easy mode like ruin this experience or something? Like there's a lot of people, I mean, I'm seeing like a lot of criticism out there just about like, oh, Silksong is not just hard, it's like as if you had just beaten Hollow Knight hard, and so it kind of expects you to rise to the challenge of somebody who just beat like that first game, and it's difficult because like I think from my perspective, and I don't consider myself to be very good at video games necessarily. And July knows this because we've played so many hours of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 together. I don't consider myself to be good at games. That being said, I didn't experience like more friction with this than I did in Hollow Knight necessarily. I didn't, and to this moment, I think maybe Hollow Knight was harder for me, and that could have been because I was newer to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons that could be, but I'm not getting younger. You know what I mean? So like, my brain is declining every minute. So
and that is interesting. I would like to touch on that
Yeah.
separately, but to jump on the point of all the
How much I kicked your ass at Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
all that as well. We can talk about that later, but the headlines of all these different news outlets saying the headline is this game is much more difficult than the original Hollow Knight. It seems to me that, and I'm not sure because I didn't read through most of those articles, I just saw the headline. It seems to me like a lot of these outlets write sort of incendiary headlines to get you to click through, and it somehow I was able to power through and not click on those articles.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
But it took a lot of hard
and they
will.
were pretty incendiary.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that I agree with you. It doesn't seem like, as far as I've played now maybe 3 hours of the game, gone through maybe 2 more sections ahead of what we're talking about here today.
Oh, and July's not called out for playing ahead. Interesting.
Yeah,
he always gets
the game.
But so far, I've only hit like a couple moments of like the same type of difficulty that I did in the original, which is just learning the moves of a boss and just going
Which
from
boss
there.
was nerfed?
There are 2 early bosses that were nerfed.
And
Recently.
we haven't hit them yet?
We have not. We will hit them. I think, and I tried to program around this, but I think we will hit both of them, unfortunately, in episode 3.
Yes.
We have to get through both of them, but they're nerfed. So
was that recent? Because there was an update that
the first week, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it was?
I beat I think the first one, and then
Yeah.
the next day it got nerfed.
I think it's Morwing and Sister Splinter are the 2.
Okay. I would like to say something as
So
a
I fought that
resident
one before
Souls
the
like
nerf.
hater.
Yes.
And not, but in terms of an easy mode or anything like that, I do not think that a Souls-like game or a Hollow Knight or anything like that should have an easy mode. I am not in favor of reducing the difficulty of these games. It is more of a game design preference in the sense that they tend to prioritize fewer, and it's hard to say because it depends on the game, and they are getting a little more complex, but fewer mechanics and more of like build, dodge, hit, like prepare type stuff that requires you to be a lot more thoughtful about your leveling up, what you want to take into battle and things like that. And sometimes I think, especially as life gets busier, it is harder for me to really like commit that brain power to planning ahead when it comes to playing a game and like
you're also
how
getting
I'm
older.
going to do something. I am getting
We're all
older and my
getting
brain is getting worse.
Worse.
But yeah, so I
lot
just wanted
worse.
to say that I am in favor of
Even
not
now.
adding easy modes to these games. Because I think that would take away what is so ultimately rewarding. Like, recently I played like 35, 40 hours of Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Loved the time that I played in it, and then of course hit a
Yeah.
part where I was just like, okay, I this is it for me.
I think that where I sit today is conflicted because I am definitely not going to sit here and be dismissive of people who do want stuff like that. But I don't need it, and I don't. And I do think there's something stuck in my brain where I'm like, it's art, man. What if they wanted it this way? They wanted it that way,
Yeah.
Jacques,
I
I'm
think,
calling on you. Yeah.
okay, thank you. I feel the same way though. It's like people. I think the game. You can argue it's too hard, and that's so valid. You're also allowed to just like not like the game.
Yeah.
You're allowed to not like the game. You're allowed to not play the game.
Yeah.
And the thing that annoys me in this conversation is that people act like it's a human right. They act like they deserve the right to play Silksong the way they want, and they should do this as if there aren't a small team of developers making this game, making the piece of art they want.
Like quite intentionally.
Yeah, you make the
Yes.
piece of art you want. People like it or don't like it. That's the end of it.
I do have,
and it carries
What-
across. It carries across various media. Like people, the way people act towards Frank Ocean for not releasing a follow up to Blonde is the most insane thing in the world. They're like, we're his fans. We've supported him. and you're just like, he owes you nothing. You're lucky to live in a world where these people make things for you.
The one thing I do want to say about, I don't think that they should, there's like this human right or anything like that. I don't think
there's human rights at all, actually.
Yeah.
Not no more.
Let me be clear.
No, but I think that for me, part of my frustration with the tendency towards games being harder and more Souls-like is because when one hits really hard, the whole game industry goes like, those are the games we make now. And so many of the games that come out have trended towards that, since Demon's Souls came out. And we've gotten more and more and more where like every time you're just like Souls-like. It's this type of game with Souls-like combat. And it's like, okay, so like that reads as less accessible to gamers that aren't ready to just like have I did end up turning on the handicap and the damage multipliers for 9 Souls, which I did really enjoy as a Metroidvania, but I was like, this is both the hardest game I've ever played. It is a Sekiro style combat parry type stuff with just brutal punishment for death. And that is, and so it's always like, oh, this is going to be the new trend. It's like battle royale type stuff. You can love battle royale, but every serious game now introduces a battle royale where like Cardi B is available to play.
And that's a great trend. That's what I want to see more of.
I see what you're saying where like trends will just emerge because of the success of something, and sometimes that can be annoying. Like I'll even be honest, like I don't need every game to be a Souls-like, and I love Souls-like games. Like I don't need every game to have crafting. I don't like I really, there's certain trends I just really hate. But I do think like maybe there's something about like if the entire industry and a lot of like people playing games like love a game and it's too hard for you, I get how that can feel bad. Like that can feel like I'm missing out, but I would maybe even compare it to like a challenging piece of art that you just don't get. It's not broad enough for you and you feel left out in the cold. You know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of ways that this can manifest itself in art. And that's why things tend to get easier and more broad, is because it's trying to capture a wider net. But it's I think it's a fascinating conversation. It's an interesting thing because it also dovetails into commerce too,
The thing I was thinking about is like,
Connors.
If this game, yes. If this game is, if Silksong is a big bold, or I'm sorry, if it is one battle after another, then you do have like an idea of like an easy mode for a movie where like somebody pauses and says like, that's what this character is saying this about America.
Right.
And it's like that ruins the piece. But then to Charlie's point about market trends and how it becomes everything, I do think there is always an answer to that, even if it sometimes works in reverse. But like, for every one battle after another, there is a big, bold, beautiful journey. Like if one battle after another is too much, you can go watch the stupidest movie where Margot Robbie has no chemistry with Colin Farrell. In the same way that like if Silksong is too much for you, it's not like there's a dearth of options.
Yeah, you can go play a shitty game.
Yeah, you can go play.
I was going to bring up Guacamelee. Guacamelee is pretty easy, and then it does have these like super challenging combat and platform sections that are almost 100% optional and almost exclusively at the end. So like we're not in danger of running out of games to play or videos to watch. I think if it gets to be too hard, I love the idea of, just like Jacques said, you can like not like the game. There's a lot of other games to play.
Can we give the option for listeners to also play the Burger King game, just to tie it into your
Sneak King?
The Xbox 360 one?
Yeah. If we could clumsily and callously insert Burger King into it, the Sneak King game is an option.
Yeah, because they're a huge sponsor of that Colin Farrell movie.
Boy, are they.
Is there a ton of Burger King in that movie?
Odd amount of Burger King.
I looked up the best-selling games of 2025 to make a point about how there's easy games, and I don't even care about that anymore because I found out that number 11 is Forza Horizon 5, and I was like, what?
Whoa. Of
on
all time?
PS5.
No, of the year.
Of
Oh, the year.
2025, the PS5
Because it
release.
came out. Oh. What's number one?
Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh.
Monster Hunter Wilds is the CSI and CIS of game sales, where it's like these are always the top TV shows in every
And no
week,
one you know
and
plays
don't
it.
know anyone
Yeah.
who watches them.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That sounds like a Mikey Stevens game.
Number 3 is College Football 26. You're just like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Whoa, that
Ooh.
is the third highest selling game.
Yeah, Call of
love-
Duty's 4. I don't like this.
I love my bubble. I just like love my bubble when I read these lists. I'm like,
Where's Deep Rock Galactic on?
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a big one though. That people like that one a lot.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
Well, I feel like we've set the table pretty
Yeah.
well
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like jumping into this game.
Huge.
But I'm
Manja.
Jumanji?
No, like
A buon
let's eat.
appetito.
We set the table. Let's eat.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not. I would defer
Nick
to
was
Nick
here, he'd get it.
normally.
He's
He'd get it.
Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Starring
Well-
Connor Williams.
Thank you. Let's get into this game, folks. Let's turn on Silksong and actually start this journey. Interestingly enough, this game begins with a cutscene, and I feel like I've already seen more cutscenes in this game than I ever did in the original Hollow Knight. But it begins by following the main character of this game, the player character,
Mrs.
Hornet,
Hollow Knight. Oh yeah. Mhm.
Mrs. Hollow Knight, who we met who's like a incredibly important character in the first game that you are, interacting with, having fights with in the original Hollow Knight, and this is our main character here. The game begins with a cutscene where Hornet is who has been captured and is in some sort of like carriage that is being brought somewhere. A lot of which I just don't have the answers to right now, and even I would be willing to bet that Jeremy and Jacques, those of you who have rolled credits, also don't have, kind of like the first Hollow Knight, have the answer to every question, because a lot of the game can be is opaque the best way to describe sort of the narrative that's going on. It's not like indecipherable, but it's not. I'll say this game I feel like is more clear about what's going on than the original
Yes.
game.
Yes.
The first
Yes.
one I have no idea. I literally
Yeah.
just have no idea
Yeah.
what's going on in
Yeah.
that game.
I do get the first game, but yeah, I'm
Brag.
like I'm listening. Well, no, I was just gonna say I'm like a loser listening to like lore podcasts about it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I'm like a scientist in there, like picking it apart.
No cutscene, so you're not going on your phone.
That's true. Hey, Jacques, you don't know this, but in the last season, I was on my phone a lot during the Death Stranding 2 cutscenes, so I had
So
to
he
have
would be
everyone
like,
explain
"That
to me.
happened?"
God, that bit would have hit so hard if I.
I
did
know.
that.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, Connor, for mentioning that. I know that you're early on, but like as somebody who's like kind of cleared a lot of this, the story is actually like almost it's pretty straightforward. There are threads of things I don't know who they are.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, logging off. That's all I
Well, we
needed.
call those strands, remember? Strands or strings. But yeah, and this also just stems from, maybe doesn't stem from, but this is
Strands from.
seen through Hornet as well, where Hornet, Hollow Knight, the knight was a silent protagonist. Hornet is a character with
It's a
thoughts,
chatterbox.
feelings,
Am I
and
right,
chatterbox.
guys?
You're
A
yapping.
yapper,
Yeah.
some would say.
you're
It's kind of Borderlands
absolutely
esque,
right.
I'd say.
Yeah, she's like claptrap.
She does a lot of that happened.
She's the
That's how you know
claptrap.
you've beaten
She
a
is
boss.
kinda
You hit it one
rude.
last time.
Yeah.
People say nice things to her, and then she's rude.
You think so?
I think so.
I've gotten the opposite vibe. I feel like she's always, they're like, hey, what are you doing here? She's like, I don't know, but if I can help you, I will.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no, the
Charlie's
one that
never
I've
said that
gotten-
about a
No,
male
leave him alone. I'm
character.
scared. I have one health.
There's
I need a
one.
bench.
There's one part that I was in particular. It was like, oh, can we help you with this particular thing? And she's like, I don't need help from anybody. And I was like,
Oh, Charlie's threatened by a strong woman. Interesting. Interesting.
I just know that eventually she will be, everybody's friend, because if you start with the protagonist who's a little,
Right.
I don't need anybody, you eventually, that person's going to need some help.
You start
Yeah.
at Cloud Strife. You got to get to Cloud happy.
She was giving me Cloud Strife vibes.
She is kidnapped sort of right away.
Yeah, the
Be
game.
nice
Yeah, the
about
game.
it. Why isn't she nice about it?
Which puts me in a very sour mood sometimes.
When you get kidnapped,
I want to
Jeremy.
get kidnapped.
Those
Yeah.
people didn't kidnap her, though, that she's rude to.
I know. I'm teasing, but that is where we that is where we
Mad
start.
Max is always rude.
He's got a bit of an attitude.
Well, I think about the beginning of the game is that I don't think they make it explicitly clear how you've been captured, who's captured you, and what's going on. But you do get a general idea that you have been brought to another land for some reason. But everything after that is pretty explicit. I feel like you're having direct conversations
Sexually.
with people. She's expressing herself. But so the game, it begins where you're being, or Hornet is being transported in this carriage and across different landscapes. And at a certain point, a like a illuminated butterfly, some sort of bug, lands on the carriage, and it seems to sort of activate like a power or something.
The butterfly effect.
It activates the butterfly effect, which causes the sort of bridge you're on to break and fall. Your carriage falls, crashes to the ground, and that's where the
Ashton
game
Kutcher
begins.
comes
But
out.
you're sort of freed from your cage.
Yes, and it's
Despite
a
all your
lush,
rage.
lush world.
Starting out a lot more it's a hostile world, but at least a little more sort of inviting atmosphere than the original game's beginning, as far as I remember.
It reminded me of Elden Ring. The way Elden Ring starts in a really beautiful space, which is different from the Souls games. I feel like Hollow Knight starts in this blue-gray zone, and this one more prompts you in like a green lush zone.
Yeah.
You are maidenless.
Is that a place in Sonic, the Sonic games, Green Lush Zone?
Green lush zone.
Yeah,
I think so.
What about the
That's
part where
Leisure Suit Larry.
Hornet puts her arm in a mailbox and it blows her arm off because there was an M80 in there?
what the hell?
That's
what
in
about
the
that part?
The
Good
butterfly
question.
effect that
Butterfly
happens.
effect.
Oh,
You're
And
like,
then
I'm waiting
he wakes
for the
up.
callback.
He wakes
Now
up in the
this I
future and he's got
gotta
his arms all stuffed. He's like, ah!
The butterfly effect, my brother watched one night in a hotel and I fell asleep. And then the next morning at breakfast, he spent 40 minutes going scene by scene through what happened to me. And I still remember it.
I remember when that came out, like everyone being like, "It's the most fucked up movie I've ever seen."
yeah.
Jacques, I just did that with my girlfriend and A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. Nice.
I did spend 30 minutes recapping Weapons to Amanda while she patiently listened on the couch because she was too scared to see it.
That's so funny. And then their arms go out.
Yeah. They're always doing this?
No, stop!
Please, this is
And then,
torture.
and then Whitmer Thomas shows up.
Yeah.
Honestly, what a great surprise in that movie. He was so good too. But Jacques, you brought up the lush environment. I think this is probably a great time to start talking about, early impressions of all aspects of the game. The first thing that stuck out to me is Hornet's I guess the way she is distinguished by her skill set and her movements. There's plenty of similarities to Hollow Knight, but in some sense, it is like learning a completely different character because of her features. Jeremy, you've played a shit ton of this game. Are there things about that stick out to you?
Yeah, I mean, there's the famous one, I think, right, that we should all talk about, which is the diagonal
Diagonal
slash.
So that's what I was gonna. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, so like we're all gonna have feelings about this. It's such a weird thing that they do to you right away, and I think it's like so. To me, it reminds me a little bit of those FromSoft like in-game joke, like design jokes or something, where you're like, oh, you wouldn't you love it if you had this thing? Well, we don't. We're taking it away from you. It is just So you can't pogo on enemies or spikes. You can.
Remember what
but
you called it in our first games club? How you trademarked it, Jeremy?
no, what
You called it Scrooge McDucking.
You can't Scrooge McDuck your way around. You have to you come at everything from an angle. So that means you have to kind of get to the top left or right of something, and then you can pogo it, but it then launches you in like in either direction, sort of diagonally. It's a very interesting thing that I saw so many complaints about, and honestly was like this at first was like, what are they doing here? What are you up to, guys? This is weird feeling. Eventually, I do think you get used to it, but I want to hear everybody else's thoughts.
It is just different enough to like throw you off slightly, especially like it's been, I don't know, 14 months and 12 months since I played the original, so it wasn't in my bones anymore. But I did I remember the first time I pressed down and attack, and she went at 45 degrees as opposed to directly down was definitely disorienting.
Yeah, I think we should also probably say that Jeremy sent this to us right after the game came out. We had Silksong versus Castlevania Symphony of the Night in our Games Club election, and that the way that she turns, the way that she jumps, all of those are like almost frame for frame Alucard's animations in Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, she has this
It's like an homage.
Like, to touch on one of them specifically, Charlie, if you're like facing right and then you hit the stick to move left, her movement in the animation
it's a two-frame
is
process.
It's so, first of all, it's so beautiful, the way she sort of turns and her little cape flows, but it is exactly as you said.
He's so graceful.
So graceful, reminiscent of Alucard and his cape moving and his hair
So
flowing.
handsome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Have you ever spelled hornet backwards?
No.
Dude, it's going to blow your mind.
Okay.
I haven't even spelled it forwards yet.
Conrad.
I'll get to it.
10
row.
That's
Real
Hornet's
quick, are we
dad.
all playing this game on Switch?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I'm playing on
Switch
Switch
too.
too.
Switch.
I'm on
Jacques?
Switch.
Switch 2.
Switch 2. Okay, yeah. I might have screwed myself with this diagonal pogo because I kept like my brain couldn't do the slight adjustment of like you hold down to move diagonal.
Yeah.
And so I just mapped on my Pro controller
Yeah, good call.
this like what is it? The extra mappable buttons.
The back paddles.
Those are down and up. So if I want to for sure throw a knife with up R, I can back paddle
smart.
an R.
Oh, that's
And
great.
then down with back paddle and slash. This game is unplayable in portable mode for me.
Oh, because you don't
Really?
have those anymore.
It falls apart.
Oh.
I only
Wow.
played it portable. I played it on the
Yeah.
TV for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I've been doing portable.
Yeah, it might be a just pure console game for me.
I play Porta Potty. So I
Is that when you sit on the porta potty and just bring it in portable?
yes.
I
Okay.
play porta potty.
You guys ever play Porta Potty 2? The co-op is really good.
Oh, it's so good.
Gladys is in that one.
The diagonal slash for me
Portal potty.
was a learning curve, but I feel like almost like the stranger.
thought you meant Aunt Gladys.
No, not again.
July, did you say the
stranger's vibe?
the devil's word?
Sorry, bringing up the stranger.
God.
You get used to it, and it's sort of
You
like
do.
it's sort of like, oh, okay, now I have this new mechanic to work with. The only times where it gets a little difficult for me to remember that happens is when you're in a section where there's multiple enemies and you're kind of roped into a little area, and I want to just pogo, straight down, and then I forget that I have to do diagonal.
I did like it in the Bell boss fight because it gives you a little extra reach to tag the boss, and then you get out of the way. You don't have to be directly above him in order to hit that. And so that extra little room did help, but yes, it was definitely something to get used to. But luckily, in the early parts of the game, there isn't too many times where you really need to pogo. Like, there's no like spike pits to get across or anything.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
good that they don't really do that in this game.
Oh, they don't later on. Yeah.
They don't really do it in this game.
Well, there's a little bit, but
McCall, are you being silly?
Oh.
You being a stinker.
That's when I almost gave up on this game. It's when I had to
Yeah, there are choke
master that
points,
diagonal slash.
whether it be like platforming or combat. I've hit two that neither of them are in this first episode, but two very difficult moments in this game that I felt, which is kind of circles back to our discussion of the, intentional design and difficulties. When you do triumph over a challenge, the like pride or elation that you feel is far different than just about any other style of game. I want to say.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we're getting used to Hornet. She's got a slash like the Knight does, but hers is a needle rather than a nail. She's got a bit of a floatier jump to her as well, and
kind of a Luigi in Mario 2.
Bit of a Luigi. She's flicking her feet. She's kicking her feet so that she floats longer.
It's actually a frame for frame recreation of Luigi in Mario 2.
But it didn't, outside of the pogoing that we're talking about, I felt like I got used to her movement repertoire, I guess, pretty early, and was very comfortable in fights.
Also similar to like Luigi in Super Mario Brothers too. If you look really into the I guess the files of the game for her needle, it's inscribed. It says "Eat the rich."
Interesting.
Oh, so she's doing the inscribe. See, I heard that was just like like the cops were writing that on her needle, and she didn't actually do that.
Who's to say? Yeah, it might explain later in the game, but we'll get to there.
I guess we'll see.
Okay, this next scene is Hornet eating at McDonald's. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
How did they turn her in?
So I do want to circle back to something you just said, which was about elation when you beat. I have that, and then I'm immediately like, oh, fuck. Because I know it's only going to get worse from here. So I'm just like, well, and now it's time for the next fucking thing that's going to happen. Like, it's the next, like even like difficult platforming sections and stuff,
Yes.
like a really intense one. I will get past that one and know that they are like, well,
Oh, man.
if you liked that one.
Yep.
I will say, Charlie, I don't know if you've gotten any yet. I mean, you get one for fighting this boss from this episode. Like, every time you do something that the game acknowledges, like, wow, man, that was really hard,
They give you
you'll
something.
get an item or you'll get a new way to, like,
No, they do
interact
not.
with the world.
Oh,
No,
really?
they do not. This game
No?
is insane with the way you
Yeah.
beat a boss and then you get nothing.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that they give you nothing. It's like, oh, this door opens. And
Yeah.
you're like, that's it? I played this boss 12 times and you just open a door? Spoiler.
Yeah.
See, it's funny. I have kind of a different reaction. The door works for me, where I'm like, this was my barrier the whole time. I just want to keep exploring or move forward with this game. So I do, of course, I think the feeling of getting a new ability or like a additional,
Connor, if you're
like,
satisfied with less, they'll keep giving you less.
dude, and that's me, Charlie. But let's talk about the sort of early areas in this game. We're in this sort of lush village. By the way, this game, Act 1, takes place in an area called Farloom. My assumption at this point, being that I'm still in Act 1, is that there might be a different area for each act, but I will look at my two people. Well, Jeremy turns off his camera right as I ask that question.
Didn't want to give anything away.
Yeah, which is good. Oh, Jacques turned off his camera. Great. But yeah, let's talk about this early area. I felt like the early parts of the game, rather, I felt like was a kind of classically a great onboarding of abilities here by giving you just enough things to interact with and get familiar with your skill set. What did you guys think?
Farloom is the whole world of the game, just FYI.
The whole world. Okay, thank you.
I agree.
Kind of the
Yeah, it
Mushroom
was.
Kingdom, if you're thinking in terms
Oh,
of
sure.
I
yeah.
see.
It felt
Mario
like
2
Lands between.
it felt like putting on some oven mitts to ride a bike for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it just felt like early on you are interacting with the first kind of enemies, and they're not too difficult, just enough for you to get, a little practice in there, and then get
A village.
the village.
July, that is
yeah.
a really apt metaphor, though, because it like, just because the diagonal is just a little different and the jump is a little bit different, it is like riding a bike, and that we
Yeah.
played Hollow Knight not too long ago, but it's just a little clumsier. And
Exactly.
You're riding it with oven mitts, so I
With
think
oven
that's
mitts,
part
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Yes. So my
it's a
metaphor
good
was
game.
perfect.
yeah, nobody's nobody's got a metaphor game like July.
Thank you.
Yeah, it feels good. It's fairly straightforward. I'm kind of rewatching the video. Like it's kind of teaching you like there are vines, so hack through walls if you can. Like be slashing walls, be jumping through. I think even the very first moments of the game, you're clearly supposed to go left. If you go right, you find a secret area, and if you go right again, you find an even secreter area. Like so it's really good about teaching you how you're going to get through this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also like I forget if how quickly it to me it seemed like you fight your first boss battle very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that right or am I wrong?
Yes.
And it almost didn't feel like it felt almost like a mini boss, which I guess it
Is
is,
this the Moss
right?
Mother?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And it didn't feel as difficult as, again, those headlines were saying. I was expecting, okay, here comes the first boss battle. What's going to
Agreed,
happen?
agreed.
And it was, she got some good hits in there, but I was able to take, care of the first boss pretty quickly. And but I also, it gave me like a sense of accomplishment because it wasn't like some other boss battles later on where it's like, oh my gosh, how many hits does this boss have to take? You know,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
it was just enough for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they take so many hits, it feels crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot. You could argue the difficulty is just in the sheer length of the boss battles.
Yeah.
For some of them.
Yes. Yes.
Like, do you have the endurance to continue dodging and surviving
Yeah.
in order to get just a hit in every so often?
Which
And I
I,
don't
I would argue is like,
Yeah.
again, the game's strength. Like it puts you in a flow state. It's when I realize that the challenge is exactly at my skill level, the bosses are long enough that I just like get meditative and I don't have to take my methylphenidate that day. My brain can just zero in on the one thing I have to finish.
Mhm.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's sweet. But Tom Cruise would love that if you just played Silksong instead of taking medicine. He would love that.
God, he would. Go see
Incredible.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning on wherever you can watch that. Paramount
Play
Plus.
play a little Silksong, watch Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning.
I mean, I guess I'll wait and say
Yes.
this at the second boss, but hilarious difficulty jump though.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Totally.
big time. When we can continue to sort of like make our way towards there, we're in this sort of like lush area. We eventually make our way to, which is the introductory space, and then we make our way to Bone Bottom Village, where we meet characters and are starting to have conversations with people. And I think this is where I immediately was noticing how different the interactions are, which is Hornet having her own dialogue here and interacting with these characters. I don't even know, are they a part of this land? Could you guys get a sense of that? Because they seem to warn you about the flea, or not, to tell you about the fleas and warn you about the people who had captured you. Jacques, do you know?
I don't remember.
In my memory, there's a lot of people who are like doing a pilgrimage to this place for like
Yes,
religious
pilgrimage.
regions. And I think there are some people who've been captured and being brought here to this land like you.
Yes. And there,
You
I
seem
can't.
they seem to make it like seem like you're special for being kidnapped though, and they suggest
That's
some
true,
sort of
yeah.
like connection to the world. And yeah, there's a lot of people making a pilgrimage for cryptic reasons, I'd say, at this point in the game. But
Yeah.
yeah, like
They all
like
have these like hats with gold belt buckles on them. So that's how I kind of clocked them as
what-
pilgrims.
yeah.
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 The sideburns is what gave it away to me, Charlie.
yeah.
And they're really
saying,
eager
"The
to
new
give
world."
you blankets.
Yeah. Yes.
Unclear why.
Oh, God.
This area is your first little hub section where there's a vendor. Another vendor will show up a little later as well. There's a bench here, which in
Has
case anyone
blankets.
else say it again,
The bench has the blankets on it.
bench has blankets. Acting just like in the first game, a place where you can save, update your map, change your loadout once you have abilities to
Restores
actually do that with.
enemies.
And restores the enemies.
Restores
Yeah.
the enemies that you've killed.
Yes, yes.
Very Dark Souls.
When I saw the bench for the first time, I did that DiCaprio meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
I'm king of the world.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
you
the-
pointed.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
I know that. I know
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
When I
bench.
saw it, I was like, man, until this bus comes, I'm gonna learn a lot of really interesting things about a guy's life.
Yeah.
Totally.
So this is Bone Bottom Village where we are, which I immediately got out my phone and took a picture.
Is that the number
of-
9? No, it's the number 4.
What's
We're
that,
back to
Charlie?
Burger King.
That's Forrest Gump.
The famous line from Forrest Gump.
The most
that the
famous
number
line
9?
of Forrest Gump.
Oh, it's the number 4.
So we're in Bone Bottom Village.
Life
I
is
thought
like a
that was
number
funny
9.
name.
You never know if it's the number 4.
Oh, that's cute.
He's stealing.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to continue this and take us through sort of some of the next areas we explore?
Yeah, eventually we meet those flea guys, right?
We do meet some flea guys, and we're sort of like, do we meet their parents, the people before who are like, hey, find these guys, and they sort of act as like the grub of this game, or at least
Yes.
at least
Yes.
the early part of the game, it feels like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like a traveling circus. And they're like, hey, a bunch of our flea friends are gone. Get them like you got the grubs in the last game, I think they say.
Yeah, this is a video game ass mechanic, and we
Yes.
know it, and we're not even gonna really hide it in the writing.
I
Yeah.
will say I'll be the first one to have a slight criticism of Silksong, and this isn't
Is that the
something that I think so.
Get it on record.
Okay, Charlie, I'm so sorry. He just erased a lot of your commentary.
My criticism is general. It's not about Silksong in particular. So I'll give it to him that this is the
That's-
first. 'Cause
yeah,
so
that's true,
far,
that's
I'm
true. Yeah,
I'm
difficulty.
enjoying this game.
Okay, Charlie,
I
I take
almost
back my apology.
No need.
Rescinded.
You have to take it back because there was no need for it in the first place.
All right, McCollor, sorry.
I don't love when a sequel almost looks at uses the same outline from the previous iteration. And Metal Gear Solid 2 famously does that, but then comments on it, and that's kind of the story. But like, I do feel like in Silksong so far, we have more or less gotten, you start out the game in the super safe area, you're in a mysterious land, you're exploring it. The first place you get to is, I mean, this is just the first town from the first game. It's got a shop, it's got a rest area, it looks the same.
Very much
Here's
does.
our version of travel, here's our version of grubs. Listen, Hollow Knight's one of my favorite games of all time. I'm not going to be mad to get it again, but I
It's
would
not
love.
also kind of genre conventions. It
It's
feels like.
pretty similar in this
Yeah.
one. It's pretty close, and I was really feeling it at the beginning, and I'm definitely feeling it less as we go. But I do feel like that's something that kind of comes up throughout the game. You almost feel like how whoever wrote this game or plotted out this game sees the ideal story. It's time for this. The very first boss is Moss Mother. The very first boss in Hollow Knight 1 is a similarly easy, like, big version of the bugs you've already been fighting. We know what you think is the correct progression.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I felt the same way. The first few hours feel very similar to Hollow Knight, and then I think it's when they start to introduce the specific moves that she gets, a couple in
yes.
particular. That's when the game you're like, okay, this is doing its own thing beyond just the diagonal slash, which feels like a bit to me.
It is. It
yeah.
very much is.
But I
Oh,
would
you had
say-
muscle memory, did you?
Yeah, you played other games, ha.
Good
And
luck.
then yeah, but I will say I agree with you. It starts out really similar, which I don't think is necessarily so bad, but I can see how
Exactly,
it's like a little annoying though.
If you're gonna do the same game again, do one of the best games anyone ever made. I'm stoked.
Another similarity that I'm noticing just in how I'm approaching the game, which this is probably going to be the case throughout the entire run of this
Justin.
Games Club. Huh?
Who's Justin?
I said just in.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, it was a little confusing, but
No,
Yeah.
his name is Jacques.
I was
Charlie.
like,
Wait, who's
Jacques.
Charlie?
Yeah.
So something that I'm noticing is that
Justin.
it kind of hit me that I'm operating so, even though the skill set is different here, it hasn't really sort of like started to express itself so much differently by using Hornet. But I noticed that I'm approaching enemies in a way that I used to approach enemies in the original game. I'm having similar strategies. I'm doing like mental math in my brain of, oh, I just filled up my spindle by hitting enemies, so I can use a healing move. But I only lost one, quote unquote, heart. So should I wait until I get hit again to use it, or should I use it now so that the next time I hit someone, I'm building that little meter back up? There are like little subtle ways about this game that I don't think about, but how I operate that are similar and coming back. And that's like a weird thing that's like scratching a part of my brain that feels really good. Are you guys experiencing similar things or different?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think you're muted. Jacques?
Am I muted?
Oh, I think for 1 second you were, but what did you say?
I said, yeah, it's kind of like risk reward. You're like, ooh, do I risk getting hit again, or is that going to like get me closer to dying?
Yeah.
It's a fun system.
I feel like this is something I don't experience as much when I'm like in a boss fight, because that is so much more, like McCollor put it, flow state, moment to moment. You have very specific windows when it doesn't matter if you have one like head missing or heart missing or two, you're just healing then because that's your only opportunity. Usually it's like running through a section or like returning to a challenge that I've been dying at multiple times.
Also, I think that you have to be very conscious of the fact that her healing is an animation that needs to complete. And so there's a specific window of time in which you are vulnerable to death before the animation completes. Also, that many of the enemies, and I'm sure this probably gets even more later in the game, but towards that bell boss, there are enemies that take 2 masks off every time you get hit. So it's like, you could find yourself dead very quickly without, keeping that spindle full and, using it when you need to.
Sometimes I'll even take risks where I'm like, okay, I'm fully healed and my spindle's like a third or a quarter of the way full. Okay, I'll go risk it and go fight this ant or this little flying guy really quick and get a few hits in because I'm going to want more later. Sort of operating in that way. Jared, were you about to say something?
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. I had to briefly leave, which is why I'm going to ask this question. Did we talk about the double? Charlie just mentioned it, but like the double life hit thing that a lot of
just kind of got brought up.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I totally forgot in the beginning when we were talking about difficulty controversy. This was even maybe more this is more of what I was seeing than even the diagonal dash.
Yeah.
Which was, why does every just make just make your life bar smaller or something like, but the optics of it taking 2 hits away every time you get hit by something is again a very funny, I perceive as kind of slight joke in it.
Right.
Or like
I guess I didn't notice it. I don't really get hit much.
But it is like it's mostly just every boss, I guess. It's a lot of common enemies too, but like not all. Like I think early common enemies only will knock off 1 mask, but
it's towards the bell boss. I was getting hit with someone taking off 2.
I do like it as kind of the distinction between a boss and an enemy. Like when you're in a boss battle, sure, they should take 2 hits. They are bigger.
It also goes. I also would like to mention that the thing I find the least in this game are mask shards. I do not find them. I think I've upgraded my health as of like twice throughout the whole time I played. I find so many of the half spindle things.
Yeah.
But I don't find as many mask shards, which is also funny. It's like,
I felt like in Hollow Knight, I was finding them all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Not here.
Yeah. Jeremy, you've commented on you've brought up a couple things that almost have like lit up something in my brain, making me think that there is like commentary from the developers that's almost a little, I don't know, meta might be an exaggeration, but the fact that they could have designed certain things to operate a certain way, but it's like almost defying our expectations, from the jump to, or the Scrooge McDucking to the more health being taken out by a basic hit. It's very interesting. Maybe something to continue to track as we go.
They place enemies in a way where you are like running across the map and they're like, oh, you put it exactly where I want to jump.
Yes.
Like they're assholes. Like the developers are assholes, obviously. It's great.
as we're moving through this too, we meet, we've been meeting some characters at the sort of Bone Bottom village. Jeremy, anything to say about the name Bone Bottom?
Nope.
Great.
Love it. Love the name. Love all the names for all the places. Kind of the Morrow. Oh,
I love the singing NPC.
yeah.
Who's like, it was me who did I opened the door. Like,
Yes.
that's so fun.
What's her name?
MVP, I think, of the game, probably. Maybe.
Yeah, she's a
I'm
good
on board.
one.
Yeah.
And she's sort of we keep comparing this to the original Hollow Knight. She's not the Hornet of the game. She's sort of like the Cornifer, but like if Cornifer was badass, like the map guy.
There is a map woman who's more like Cornifer, but she's kind of like, there was a character who I think has a tragic ending in Hollow. Yes, Jacques. What's their name? Do you remember?
The guy who's like, I'm the bravest hero in the land.
Yeah.
No, that person's great, but there is do you remember like the woman who's like Baparada? Like anytime you like
Ba-ba-da-da.
see her
Yeah.
in the first game, they remind me of each other because you know what I mean? Like they have a similar sensibility and you find them in similar locations.
I think we're maybe talking about two characters in Silksong here. I like you're talking,
maybe.
Jeremy, about the cute little gal who's singing and trying to open the door.
Yes, that's who I thought we were talking about.
Yeah, that's
there's
what I'm
the
talking
I
one
think
who's
Connor's
like
talking about
martial
the
artist.
mask.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
The map bug.
No, we hate them. Yeah.
Too tall.
Fair.
Too tall for you, huh?
Too
Yeah.
tall. I never have beads when I get to them the first time.
Same.
I know it isn't that interesting.
They're always
Also-
somewhere
also-
else.
That what is difficult for me, and maybe maybe you guys will teach me something right now. But when I go to buy the map and I have beads, I buy the map and it's like, oh, too bad you're not in that place where the map is useful. Like, so I don't know where to, like, I'm not, when I open the map after that, I am not in that location. And I am like, what location am I in? But there's no indicator even on my screen when I pause that says you are in
Yes.
the marshlands or something. So I can be like, oh, that's the map I need to get. It just is like, well,
Yeah.
I guess
It's such a feeling of dread when you go into a
Yeah.
new area and you just get the little map symbol because you're like, you're so like, and death is such a pressure cooker situation. So you're like, oh, like, I kind of love the feeling.
That happened
Yeah.
to me. I think it's by design. At a certain point, I collected so many beads and met up with the map bug, and there were 3 different maps I could purchase, but I didn't know which one to purchase, so I bought 2, and it was 2 for ones that I was not in the area for. So I'm like, okay, great.
Well, it also like once you, is it when you find her that it activates the map? Like then once you can purchase the map, any bug you find will sell you the map.
Exactly.
So-
yeah.
I
Tell you the maps of all the areas you've been to that you don't have maps for, which to me is like
Yes.
a friendly element in this
Yeah.
game. as
Yeah,
opposed to
yeah,
the
yeah.
last
I
one.
think that is something that like I will get used to as time goes on. But I was like, oh, I should
Yeah.
just buy the map for the place that I'm in, and then
Yeah.
I bought
Yes.
the both maps that were there, and neither of them were the right one.
because you might
There's-
have gone back all the way to the beginning and gotten the 2 maps for the furthest one. You know what I'm saying? Like, if
Yeah,
you
I
don't
got
have the
it
map
from
for the
that
first one.
lady, but it was like the one who sells them to you. But
But,
one thing I do want
one thing I'll tell you, Charlie, because I didn't learn this until my second playthrough in the Games Club with original Hollow Knight. You hold L to bring up the map. If you double click L, you immediately go to your full map and you can see the
I did not
world
know that.
map. And that changes the game.
Good
I
thought.
also really like the new thing. I mean, it was like kind of a cool animated thing in the first game, but one thing that I do like is the fact that when I am trying to get my rosary beads back
Yeah.
and stuff like that, that it's just like interact with the thing, you get them back rather than having to fight the specter of you.
Yes.
In order
like a
to get it
cocoon.
back. Yes, it's a cocoon, and it's really like it's a very satisfying moment. Whereas in the first game, it was like, oh, this is also a fight. And it's not a very hard fight, but it's like I could be.
That guy's killed me.
Yeah, I have died to that person.
Yeah, if you come in with like 2 health and then you screw up once or
Yeah.
twice. I mean,
I'll say one thing really helpful on the maps before we get away is if you see little rings on the ground, that tells you that she's near.
Just
I
like
didn't-
in the first game with
Yeah, the way they had the
Yeah.
papers in the first one. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that, and then Juan told me, and I was like, oh,
Of course. She's a Sonic fan.
exactly.
Hmm.
She's the person who I want to say
MG.
I could be misconstruing her with a different conversation, but I want to say this first interaction with her was where she starts talking about the pilgrims and hints at why she thinks you may have been brought here, but doesn't explicitly say that. So that mystery is still sort of abound. Moving through this area, though, we eventually get up from Bone Bottom Village to Moss Home, which is sort of another lush green area with different enemies, some of which, like, there's this one that really sticks out to me where when you run at them, they jump backwards and puke at you.
God, I hate
Those little fuckers.
God.
Like so many enemies in this game, if you overthink it, it becomes a much harder enemy. Like, if you just keep approaching that thing, you should be able to. The puke usually go
Eat the
right
puke.
over your face.
Yeah.
What? I just yeah.
For every boss too, it's like you gotta lead with courage and
Yeah.
and attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more like Bloodborne than it is like Dark
Yes.
Souls. It wants you to jump at them and hit, dodge.
I think
Then
the
it is.
problem is generally like somebody said earlier is they place them right over a gap, and so like you get into
yeah.
the gap and then they just jump back and you're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
Or they
"Alright."
like one of those specific characters. I wish I had the bestiary up to look up what they're called, but it even when it jumps back, it always will. Where you're approaching it in this specific arena, it will jump back and it'll drop it like an almost imperceivable amount to a ledge that's just a kiss shorter than the one next to it, and that makes the line for the puke perfectly hit you. Rather, if you were on
Yeah.
the same plane still, it wouldn't. So there's all sorts of little things like that. Mr. Mouledoux?
Connor, this isn't like a critique because I think you're doing great, but next time I'd love it if you could have the bestiary up when we do the podcast.
That's
So
fair.
you could be like better equipped to lead us.
That's so
Yeah.
fair. Do
Because
they
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Wait, a genuine question.
Yeah,
Did you
exactly.
get your
I-
bestiary in the mail?
I haven't
Yeah.
looked it up in my menus in this game because I used to have it handy last games club. Do they have a bestiary?
You get it
Yeah.
soon. You'll get it soon.
Okay, maybe I don't have it yet.
I feel
I
like
would have
pretty
said
late.
I would have said
I don't know,
bestiary
I'm
just for the
confused
record,
where
and then you said it, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's right. Okay, cool.
Oh, is it?
Someone else?
Bestiary,
No,
yeah.
I'm sure it's bestiary, but I'm just
Is
saying
it?
like it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I'm glad someone else pronounced it before me.
Bestiary.
Jeremy, you might be able to answer this question. Is Moss Home the
Yes.
area where we finally interact with the silk that is blocking areas
Yeah.
that we eventually use the silk spear to get through?
Yes, I believe so. It's definitely where you find the silk spear, which you need to kind of get
Cut
to
through the
the end
webs.
of this episode, which is you slice through that wall, and then the Bell Beast emerges.
Yes.
But it is a platforming challenge to get there. Kind of a little bit of a. It's a kind of a gracious thing that it's not another boss fight, like because to this point we've had I think one boss fight, which is the Moss Mother, and that one's like still tutorial stuff. It's not
Yeah.
not really that much of a challenge to get through. But then, you'll do this like platforming challenge to get the silk spear, and that's the thing you need. Weirdly, I'd like to point out about this. You don't do a whole lot of busting through silk walls in the game.
Almost never.
It's really here, and I don't know why I thought like, oh, this will be like a Metroidvania element
Like a
where
gate?
where I'm going to be able to get through a bunch of gates now. It's like, no, you kind of do this one, and then it's a weapon. It's like a very good weapon actually.
Yeah. Interesting too what you're saying, Jeremy. Use it as just like a means to block you off from an area, but then it basically is just a weapon afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a question of like how to gate off multiple things, and then the very first thing that you get, you don't want to have too many gates.
Yeah.
Right. Like in Metroid, it's always the missiles, but I think they do something really smart in Metroid where like the missile doors you usually know are going to be the last door before you get in to get your charge beam or double jump or whatever you're working towards.
Right.
So like, yeah, once you have your first weapon, there can't be a lot of gates because you got to start somewhere.
Plus, those are it's a finite resource in the sense that you have to build up the
silk.
You can't just use it over and over again. And so if that was happening, you'd constantly be finding yourself having to go and fill up the meter to use your
Kill a
silk.
guy to get it.
Yeah.
There is a weird thing with silk in this game, which we'll get to much later on, where it auto-fills a sliver of it because there are things you do need that require silk for as a weapon, but also to platform. So it has to charge just a tiny bit. It's really interesting how they've balanced everything.
I think it's messy. I think that system is messy.
I kind of do too. And I think, did we already talk about the other kind of messy system with the item usage yet?
Let's talk about it. You mean like your build and all that, Jeremy?
Not that. Well, if we haven't talked about that, maybe we can. It's like the marks or the crests, but I'm talking about the stuff like when you get like a pin needle that you can throw, and the whole game you're picking up these shards, like tons of shards, no beads, mind you, tons of shards, and it's like a consumable that just refills your throwables, and it's weird because you don't need this at all for like a long time, and then you have a surplus of it for most of the game.
Yeah, you're like full most of the game.
Then you get to the end of the game and you're like, where are those fucking shards? You're like, where are they? Like it is. I also find it a little messy. Beads. I think a lot of the resources might be just a tiny bit messy. Jacques.
I think, no, I agree. I didn't use any of the shard tools until like halfway through Act 2 or almost to the end of Act 2.
Yeah. There's
I texted you. There's nothing I want less than to find shards.
Yeah. Sometimes shards are your only reward for going down a hallway or like up a
secret
shaft, and that you throw that game away. I want to throw that game away.
There's some key tools that I think are really come in clutch for certain scenarios. Yeah. And we'll get to those as we get there.
Jeremy, feel free to be like, let's talk about this later. But how do you use tools?
Up R.
Okay. Maybe I just have the throw equipped now and I could swap it with something else.
Also, how you do it in Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like your secondary weapon.
Up R, and then if you have multiple tools equipped, it'll map to the different directional buttons. So it'll be like down R and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. There's elements of this, or like those are literal tools, but there are like gameplay tools in this game that I'm still not interacting with, or I forget about. Like I forget about the silk spear in boss battles sometimes. And I'm like, what? That would help me out so much if I just remembered this whole arsenal here.
Well, and there's a bunch of tools on this podcast.
Dude.
At least a few.
Don't make me pull out my stink fist on you.
Why don't we, really, I guess, use the silk spear to get to our boss that closes out this episode, are there other elements of like getting to the end here that anyone wants to talk about, whether it be a moment, a character, an interaction, or just like a general thought?
I think we should maybe save the crests for when we get another one.
Yeah, because we don't have one yet, right?
That would be a good time to talk about like builds, because this game has builds, which is like really exciting and really strange.
And different in the way that the first one did.
Yeah, right. Very different. I mean, like extremely different.
Yes.
I'd say the first one almost has no builds in comparison to this one.
Yeah. Yeah. The first one definitely has like charm slots and stuff where you can have little boons, but it doesn't. This is like traversal and combat build differences. But definitely Benson Boone.
These beautiful silks that I love. So let's get to the freaking Bell Beast, guys. We got to use the silk spear to cut through the threads, the silk, the strands in order to get over to this guy. But this is the first like legit boss of the game. I think it took me almost about 10 times to fight this bad boy. But McCollor, do you want to just give us like a little introduction to this boss? Tell us about it a little bit as we get into the discussion.
Yeah, make up its
You
backstory.
eventually find yourself in a spot where the ground is bells, and you see a big sleeping, curled up creature. It's
I think Alyssa Sabo was on that show.
creature.
The floor is lava. The
floor
ground
is-
is bells.
Can we cut that?
Can we just shape it so that everyone and I say it and everyone goes, oh.
Yeah, we can reshape it.
Yeah.
Right, Jay?
Yeah, we can reshape it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
about
Mikey, can you
waveforms. It's about
can you
manipulating the
shape-
waveform.
Shape it a bit.
We find a bell floor. We find a curled up little guy who is reminds me so much of my cat. The way he
Aw.
sleeps and the way he's mean to me at first, but then falls in love with me. Yeah, he's some sort of like he's got like armadillo energy, maybe. How to describe him? Yeah,
long.
That was
Salmon.
perfect.
He's a
Armadillo
long
is
boy.
really
Yeah.
good.
armadillo.
Yeah,
really
and he's a
good.
long white creature.
So good.
I think McCollor should be the beast describer for this whole series.
Yeah.
He's our
He's
bestiary.
our beast.
He's whisper.
I'll beast your airy.
Oh,
Oh, please.
All right, never mind.
And then you attack it, and he growls at you, and then you gotta hit him a bunch more times. And yeah, this is our first boss battle.
He's so
Yeah.
fast.
arena.
He's really fast, and he has multiple moves. One is to jump over you, and he can jump on you if you don't run under him. Then another one is him sprinting across the map or across the screen after he comes out. And then another one is shaking and making bells fall from the ceiling that can land on you. And when he's mad, after you have hit him enough times, because he has like 3 phases, he does a period where he just is like constantly dropping bells on you that you have to
bells.
avoid.
He like
Yeah.
goes into a rampage sort of for a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
I love this arena appropriately named for the Bell Beast, where the floor, like we already said, the floor is bells, so he can like dive under and almost like swim through it.
I
Which
think Alyssa Sabo was on that show.
whoa,
Oh, yes.
Yeah, just leave that one in.
Who?
just leave that one. Well, I love that this ends up having more. I don't need to rush to it, but more implications. A lot more implications than I would have guessed outside of just this arena for the rest of the game. But yeah, it's really fun. It really, I felt like I really enjoyed getting this battle in my bones and starting to recognize pattern. You know, and this is the game shows off one of its great strengths, especially with boss battles, where it's like, oh, you start to learn that if you see a rumbling coming from the bells on the top, he's going to jump over you, or if it comes from the side, he's going to do this movement. So it feels good to recognize those patterns and start to take advantage of those moments. But yeah, had a tough time with it. With these bells hitting me.
Yeah. When I learned the patterns, it also solidified second beats and game, you know.
See, group games though still tough.
Still, that's so tough still.
Harold.
On mine, he was doing a living room.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah,
Just
he was
by
telling.
himself?
He was just. Yeah, he was just kind of like he heard something I said, and it made him think of.
These are the
Something
moments that
else.
were like my random friends who don't play games listen
like,
to
"What the fuck are
podcasts
you
I'm on,
talking
and they're just like, "Yeah, I had to stop after 15 minutes. I didn't know what was happening."
Talking about
That's
their
great.
cult rituals.
It's
Yeah.
not for you. It's
We're
for
inviting you
us."
into a world that you'll never understand.
Occasionally, someone like Alyssa Sabo will listen, and it's
Yeah.
exactly for that.
and she'll be like, "Oh my god, they they remember.
Yeah.
I was on the floor's bells."
First of all, I felt like Tom Nook the way this guy was giving me bells.
Okay.
Oh yes.
And we're back.
That is
That's
good.
for Jacques' friend.
That's
Yeah.
I feel like I might be kind of inverse. I feel like I didn't struggle with this boss that much. I died just once or twice. And then
5.
other bosses that are easier.
Yeah.
Other bosses were
Other bosses that I know are easier took me 1,000 times.
Oh, dude, there is a moment in this game where you just walk into a room and it's a closed door situation with just random enemies, and it was harder than any boss in the game for me. Like
100%.
This game can do stuff like that. No. I'm sorry. High Halls is probably the hardest thing in the game. But I was actually talking about a moment like earlier in like a random like sludge town or something where you like it's just a moment where you get like a bunch of flying guys or just and you just have to get rid of them, and it's like I did that 25 times.
The bile water is a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Bile water is still an area where I haven't gone through the whole zone yet.
Bile water?
I'm so scared of it.
There's a little secret area I'll tell you about that helps things out.
In America, it's called resident water.
Resident water.
Resident water.
Yeah, there's actually I have a similar thing where there's one boss who I don't know if they've nerfed, but that everyone agreed was the hardest, and like I think I beat it on like my third try. And then there's other ones who no one complains about, and like it took me 20 times. You know?
Yeah. Sometimes I think you just click with the patterns.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, if I like slip up with the pattern, it just the boss will just punish you. And this one specifically, I like read a move wrong, and so like it slapped its big old armadillo belly on me, like just slightly, and then there goes my mask. You know.
Yeah.
I have a question that I want to ask up, kind of like as we get towards wrapping up, really quick, and it's something I heard on a different podcast. So I want to shout out Lore Boys, the podcast that I listen to that talks about lore in different video games and
the sister series to Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. They were saying, somebody had an observation I thought was really interesting, and it was that they would rather play a boss that how did this go? They would rather play a boss that was like challenging, but like they'd rather play a boss that like the Bell Beast, if it's giving you problems, it's like maybe because it's like cheap or has like cheap aspects to it, or you don't understand it, or it's too big and you can't read its tells. They would rather play a boss that's harder 20 times, but that felt like you got it and you felt like it was your fault when you died, than playing a boss 3 times that like whenever it kills you, it's just like it feels like cheap, or it feels like it's just because you don't understand the boss. Like, do you guys resonate with what I'm saying?
I don't want to luck out and win. Like,
I do want to
like
crash
I
out
want
and win, though.
Yeah.
I do want to crash out and win.
Sure. But I'd rather be like super frustrated and pissed, but knowing it's because I did something wrong, rather than it being like, this is unfair. And
there is I think this will happen a little more later, but there will be bosses that will summon in normal enemies to fight alongside them, and that feels
I always
like
hate that.
I do too.
It's egregious.
You're the boss.
Okay.
You just fight me. Don't
Okay,
have
I
your
have a
minions attack me.
I have a question. Would you rather play a boss that's like incredibly fun? It's so well designed. And you play that
That one. I picked
and
that
then you
one.
win. Okay, great. Joy's locked in. Or would you rather play a boss that sucks? It's poorly designed. It's not fun at all. And then you have to play that one 30 times.
I know it was
as
like
soon as I started
wasn't
saying it, I was like, I
interesting.
know I'm not capturing this question right. I should have rehearsed this. But it is like, I think the idea just being like I would rather play in Bloodborne, for the Bloodborne heads, Lady Maria 100 times than play the boss right before Lady Maria like twice.
Yeah,
because I hate that one. And like
Tough but fair is way better.
There's this video that goes around every once in a while, and it's like one of those like where the guy's on the street interviewing drunk people, and there's this girl that comes up and she's like, I got a question for you. He's like, it's in the vein of Haktua, but she's like, I got a question for you. Would you rather get $1 million or get cancer? And he's like, well, what's the downside of the $1 million? And she's like, you get $1 million. He's like, well, I'll pick the $1 million. And she's like, smart. And then she walked away, and it was just like, so that's what that question was.
yeah
That's so good.
Would you rather like what you're doing or hate what you're doing? Anyone?
I will say there is a little bit of chaos to those bosses that breaks it up. Like, I don't want to every time get into a boss battle and just be like, okay, when do you jump? When do you like? I like the idea of slicing that up a little bit, but I like that they're in there. don't do them all the time. And I think this game so far has an incredible rhythm to it.
I don't like bosses. I'm going to say this, and I haven't gotten any yet. I don't like bosses with pits or spikes or like environmental hazards. Just fight me on my...
you wait.
Fight me on solid ground, baby.
Yeah.
You're going to love the rest of the game then. Go
Well, speaking of, after we do defeat the Bell boss, it had a turn I didn't expect, which it becomes your like fast travel mount.
Your best friend.
Yes,
Through
he's
at
your
least the
buddy.
first part of the game,
Best
kind of
scary
like
friend.
the stag in the first game. And I love, it's really, there's a lot that I love about this character that I loved about the stag, the way he like will run through a cavern and show up and have to stop himself. This one always diving through in and out of the bells, using them as if they're water. It's great, but that is where we, end this episode. Episode 1 of the Silksong Games Club. We freaking did it. Any final thoughts for you guys on what we've covered and getting into the rest of the game before we go? Not everyone has to go, but if you want to go, green light. McCollor?
I got a question for you guys. Like, I'm wondering if you similarly had, would you rather give your
so
sweetie a kiss?
humiliating.
In the first Hollow Knight, when you first unlocked the stag, did anyone feel uneasy about him? I remember thinking like this guy's gonna turn on me or like attack me at some point in a way that like
Mikey, I think that your radar for people
That's so funny.
is off because Ati the
Control,
janitor
yeah.
in the control game
Yes,
stream,
this is what
you
it
were like,
was.
this is a bad guy. He is bad.
I will support McCollor. I'll support McCollor right now by saying I don't know.
great, I got the guy with the would you rather's on
I know.
my
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's true. But take it or leave it. I do think that I don't know about anyone in the game at any point ever if they're good, bad, or gonna die unceremoniously.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the thing that I'm always afraid
Now,
of. Is
can
like
I
my-
ask you, is it you don't know this because when that information is being told, it's in the cutscene and you're on your phone?
Well, it could be that. It could
I
be
get
that
it.
these games just pull the rug.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's just constantly asking, like, what happened to this character? Like,
Yeah.
they're not
Wait,
here
why are we
anymore.
fighting Higgs?
I had a roommate when I first moved out here who was watching Breaking Bad, and he was like talking to me and my other roommate and like asking questions. Like I didn't understand this whole part, and then he just revealed that he was just on his phone the whole time while watching, and we were just like, "Oh, never talk to us again." Like,
That's
what are
so
you
awesome.
talking about? It was so infuriating.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts? I'll just say I'll start us off. For those who want to jump in, I'm so excited to be here. I like played a ton once I finally got into it. I'm about 9 hours in. I looked at the roadmap from Jeremy, and I am just past the homework for next episode already. So I'm gonna try to pace myself because I am loving this. But it is so. It almost feels like an impossible ask because I could just sit down and play this game all day, which is what at least 2 of us experienced, not being able to put it down. So I'm glad to be here. I love the differences, and damn, it's good to be playing like just such an incredibly designed game again, which we pretty much only play those on this series. You know, out of 12 games clubs, we only had one that was Sonic Adventure. The rest of them great.
Look, I also want to say I'm really trying to craft the perfect Games Club experience. As always.
We appreciate that.
But I don't think it's a bad idea to lead the podcast a little bit, to like do a little bit of extra, because you never know what. Like I'm trying to also do difficult, like for example, episode 4, I think I have us doing very little things other than the last judge, which is a very famously hard boss. But like, don't feel afraid to play ahead a little bit, because you might get a little stuck. So
It's also helpful if you play a little ahead, then you got a little less to play for the next week and don't have to cram.
yeah, and because undoubtedly there will be just pain ahead. So
Can you imagine me on the plane to Japan in a few weeks, the last judge
Yeah.
kicking my ass over and over, my battery dying?
yeah, I can imagine it.
Yeah. McCall,
As
were
we
you gonna say
learned from
something, bud?
Hollow Knight 1, we're gonna find different nooks and crannies of these areas too. So like even if you play a little bit ahead, you might get a new power or a new crest that you want to go back and explore. So then you're even more informed for that episode because you realize you can actually wall jump up there and get a cool crest.
We had the same problem with the Hollow Knight 1 games club, but it's not a game about linear. This game is more linear, I will say. It's much more linear than Hollow Knight, but it's still a game where you're pushing on the edges of the map constantly. So it's like, and like there are so many optional areas and things to do. So explore. Have as much time. Connor, go nuts. I don't think you can play too far ahead.
Yeah, and I think I'm probably going to play what I need to for this week so I can get back to Deep Rock Galactic Survivor and just kind of like level up my guys. No, but I'm having a great time so far. It is one of those things where when I was scared to start this game because of the difficulty and that kind of stuff, but as soon as I started playing, I was like, especially on the Switch 2 screen, it's so pretty, it's so vibrant, it feels good to play, and aesthetically, it's incredibly pleasing. So I am really looking forward to this experience and like getting through it. I think like even like, you know, if I even roll credits, then I will consider that a huge accomplishment. And beyond, then that's amazing. I've always admired people that are like, oh, I've played through Elden Ring 8 times. I'm on New Game Plus 8 and 150 playthroughs, the 150-hour playthroughs. And I'm like, more power to you. There are other games to play.
So you threw in a judgment there at the end.
I know.
And that's
for
me.
That's
judgment.
my personal feeling.
Jacques, first time on the Games Club. I know you've already finished this bad boy, but how you feeling, bud?
Regret.
Damn, I knew it. And great. Anybody else?
That I didn't join sooner.
Okay. One only thing I'll say lastly is I didn't speak on this earlier, but getting into the game, it felt a little bit like your movement is a little slower from what I remember in the first game. But once you start unlocking some stuff later on, then you start feeling in the groove like
big time
in the first game. So that's all I'll say.
Guy gets it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Oh, and lastly,
oh, he was bluffing. He didn't have anything. Nothing. Well, that'll do it for episode 1 of the Silksong Games Club here at Super NPC Radio. Next week, we're going to continue through Act 1 and end after acquiring the Drifter's Cloak. So once you get that bad boy, you can save and throw your game away. Yeah. A little bit of podcast business as well as if you're listening to this again on the Patreon. Thank you so much. Let us know in the Discord what you're thinking of this game and comment on the Games Club Super NPC channel if there's anything you want to share or discuss. Use spoiler tags when necessary if you can. And if you're listening to this on the free feed in the future, consider checking out what we've got going on our Patreon. Another beautiful series like this is probably happening. Or share the show with a friend so that more people can discover and listen to this podcast series, which we just want more people to listen to it and hate listen. Really, that's what we want. You can follow us on social media at Super NPC Radio all over the place, including Blue Sky and Instagram. But let's plug and get out of here. I'll kick off the plugs for us first. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Connor McCabe and check out my podcast, Call Me By Your Game, wherever you get your shows. Charlie Mihelich, what do you want to plug?
You can listen to my podcast, Baywatch Watch, where Zach Olson and I are recapping every episode of Baywatch. We are currently in season 8, so there's a lot of them out there to listen to. Thank you.
July Diaz?
Yeah, take a listen to, when is this coming out?
This is coming out this Friday, October 3rd on Patreon.
Okay, great. So this is sort of the month where a lot of spooky things are happening. So perfect for this game because there's like a sort of eerie feeling to it. But if you also don't want to feel like you're gonna get spooked, you listen to the Roast of Mario, Roast of Sonic, Roast of Donkey Kong episodes of Video Games Comedy Show.
Why didn't I see that coming? I don't.
Oh, I knew. It's like this, like the more lead up and setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to that.
Cool. Michael McCollor.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Secret Blimp, on YouTube, youtube.com/@secretblimp, and Twitch, twitch.tv/Secret Blimp, where hopefully this month I'm streaming a bunch of Resident Evil.
Guys, again, I know I said it up top, but go look at the art that Michael McCollor has made for this series. Actually, no one on this besides me and Jeremy has seen it, so we'll have to text it to you guys later, but go like it on Instagram, go print it out for yourself, frame it in your house like Jeremy does. McCollor, great work as always, buddy.
Thank
and
you.
good to have you
Yeah,
back, dude.
man. Glad to be back. Missed you guys.
A little first timer over
Even
here,
Charlie.
Jacques Mouledoux. So good to have you, buddy. What do you want to plug?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at JacquesMonster. I'm on the Roast of Mario episode with July, which is one of the most acclaimed episodes of Video Games a Comedy Show. The reviews are really glowing for it. I understand. So check that one out.
Cool. And last but not least, Mr. Programmer Jeremy Schmidt.
Go listen to Video Games a Comedy Show and enjoy this Games Club. I'm so excited to be back. Q4, baby. What a year. What a year for games. This one being at the tippy top of my list.
We are here. Just, it is very fun to be doing this as this game has, come out still less than a month ago. But that'll do it for episode 1 of the Silksong Games Club. We will see you on the next one.